Okay, look, this was my thoughts on the NFL. I don't watch football. I'm not really into football. I was into playing football, but not so much just watching it. Watching sports was never my thing. I like being in the sports, but I didn't like watching it. Watching's just, I don't know, it was boring. But look, if you're wearing a uniform, a company uniform, and you start making political statements online in that uniform, if it goes against the beliefs of that company and they think it's negative, they're going to fire you. Why should the NFL be any different? In fact, they're more representative. Would it be a breach of their freedom of speech? No, he's not saying you have to. He's saying if it was me, I would fire you. Because I see it as unpatriotic, and I would not want my team representing something so unpatriotic. Is there inequality in this country? Yes. Do you know why? It's because of behaviors and mannerisms that have accumulated from the history of such things. Now, if some of those things were to change, if attitudes was to change on all sides, if people would actually just try to stop fitting stereotypes that are very, very hard to get away from. And it's not even about color, it's more about where you were born, who were your friends growing up, who's your circle of influences. That's really the big thing. And if you're in one of these impoverished areas, you're much more likely to get drawn back from it. Basically, what I'm saying is don't fit stereotypes and then expect people not to start seeing those stereotypes. Your ancestors would do everything in their power to prove that they weren't what people claimed them to be. No, it's like they flaunt it. They're proud of it. Mm. Now, I'm all for the freedom of speech, but I think that freedom of speech goes to all places, and sometimes that speech will have consequences. If you boycott your job and start a union, if not everybody support that and they continue to work, the people who stayed out of a job are likely to be fired. Was it their right to have a free speech to display that? Yeah. And it was the job's right to fire them. Technically, you could say they quit by not showing up to work, but well, that's what I have to say on it. If it was my team, I'd fucking sell it. Why the heck would I put so much money into something I'm not even. I could build communities. I could freaking start systems that would actually build massive vertical gardens in these impoverished countries. Have extremely expensive filters in places where there's unclean water. No, I'm gonna spend millions upon millions of dollars running this football team that tackles each other. No, I wouldn't have a football team in the first place. I'd find something more appropriate to put my money into. I guess somebody has to. It's a cultural thing. It's not like this. This has been going on all the way since the medieval times, except for back then the consequences were more dire. Later, YouTube.